Does smiling matter? The human smile can do a lot of things. It can communicate to other humans and even other animals that you're non-threatening. It can convey emotions such as happiness and excitement, and it can even constrict blood flow to the brain, causing increased releases of chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin. But today I want to know, how does smiling matter when it comes to skateboarding? I'm going to be conducting a series of small experiments during my warm-up, which consists of an ollie in all 4 stances, a kickflip in all 4 stances, and a pop shove it in all 4 stances. I'm going to be doing them in 4 different modes. The first is going to be the control mode, in which I skate with a straight face, just as I would normally. The second is going to be with a minimal smile, just a casual everyday smile. The third is going to be with an exaggerated, teethy, squinty-eyed smile. And for juxtaposition, the fourth is going to be with a very harsh frown. After doing my warm-up session in all 4 modes, I'm then going to assess how I felt each of my warm-up sessions were in the different modes. I predict that my skateboarding will be slightly improved once I am smiling, as if you're having fun doing an activity, you usually end up doing better with that activity. However, the extremely exaggerated smile might throw me off a little bit. Seeing as I'm not a scientist, this experiment is not going to be without its flaws. There's still going to be many variables unaccounted for. We're not going to be extrapolating any scientific data or making any theories from this experiment. And if anyone has a better idea of how to structure such an experiment, please leave a comment below, and perhaps I'll do another pass through. Or better yet, go ahead and give this a try for yourself. I'd be really keen to see how your results stack up to mine. But enough talking, let's go out and skate and put this to the test. How does smiling affect skateboarding? Does it matter? So we're at the rainy day spot for somewhat of a semi-controlled environment. The weather has been rather unpredictable lately, and it did look like we might see a spot of rain. Plus the ground is pretty nice and smooth here anyways. It's just a good place to do some flat ground skateboarding. But already seeing an unpredicted variable. It seems as though I got a little bit of grease on my grip tape from the skateboard being in the car. I wonder how this is going to affect the experiment. That's the warm-up session in mode 1. Got an ollie, kickflip, pop shove it in every single stance with a straight face. You know, it just felt like a regular warm-up session. I did find myself having to concentrate a little bit just to keep my face nice and stoic. I do feel as though I tend to frown just naturally when I'm going for a trick, especially since I live in Florida. It's bright out, you know, you gotta squint to protect yourself from all this light. Next up, we've got the regular old casual smile. Ollie, kickflip, pop shove it in all 4 stances like this. Alright, there we go. Warm up, mode 2, everyday casual smile. You know, it actually started out being a little easier. I feel like my tricks were a bit more consistent at the get-go, but towards the middle and the end, it just became so tiresome. I don't know if it's because I'm really working up a sweat now. I'm pretty hot, and trying to breathe through my nose while doing all those tricks is pretty difficult, but I found myself getting more and more frustrated when I wouldn't land a trick, more so than if I just kept this regular straight face. So at the moment, I don't have any conclusive results, but mode 2, I don't think I like it. I think it's a bit worse actually than just regular stoic old straight face. Crank out the third mode, which is going to be our super exaggerated smile, gritted teeth and squinted eyes. I'm actually pretty excited to test this one out. of that for mode 3. I did not like this one. I usually don't get angry when I skate, but for whatever reason, every little thing was just annoying me to death. My hair is soaking wet now. I'm completely drenched. It's so hot outside. Every little noise, the road noise out there. There's people apparently doing yard work at 6 o'clock in the evening. My left shoe is just completely falling apart, just disintegrating, on top of not being able to land pretty much any of the tricks I was going for. Yeah, mode 3, not a fan of it. I'm thoroughly exhausted, but we got one more mode to go, and that's the extremely aggressive, angry face mode. So because I was doing the tricks whilst frowning, I expected to get a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more aggressive with it, but I didn't expect to get full-on rage mode. I almost focused my board a couple times, and I usually never get to that point. Because I was frowning and I was being a bit more aggressive with my tricks, I felt like I popped them a bit harder, and as a result, got them a little higher, perhaps catch them a little higher, and sometimes a little cleaner. So that's my warm-up in all 4 modes. An ollie, kickflip, pop, shove it in all 4 stances across 4 different facial expressions. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and try to iron out any inconsistencies, any variables due to my fatigue over time, because there was a good bit of time between each 4 modes, and I'm gonna try and do a tray flip in each of the 4 modes back to back if I can. As I said before, this is definitely not a scientifically accurate experiment, and I'll talk about some of the unaccounted for variables in terms of accuracy in just a moment. But right now, let's do 4 tray flips, 1 for each of the modes. Now I'm going to run it back in reverse order, starting from mode 4 to mode 1. Alright, we collected a decent bit of data just now. Let's go ahead and break down what we found out. So my initial hypothesis predicted that due to the interchangeable nature of being happy and smiling while skateboarding would improve your quality whilst doing that activity, and therefore you would do better at that activity. But I actually found that smiling didn't help me. Neither did frowning. I skated best when I was just doing my regular straight face. And I think that's because I was focusing so much on doing this or this, that I wasn't focusing on what I was doing when it came to my skateboarding. I wasn't focusing on what tricks I was trying to do and how to do those tricks. I was mentally distracted when I was going to pop and flick a kickflip, and that really affected my ability to do those tricks. As I alluded to earlier, there were a lot of inconsistencies and unaccounted for variables in this experiment. It was nowhere near airtight. First of all, I wasn't in a closed environment. There was a lot of distracting outside noise, and believe me, it ended up distracting me quite a bit. Secondly, the order of the modes from 1 to 4 also played a role in my fatigue and energy levels, and so towards the end I was absolutely exhausted. Plus the monotony of doing the same tricks over and over and over again really started to get to me, and I started to get extra frustrated. So to make this experiment more airtight, you'd likely want to do it in a very confined environment. You'd want to change up the order of the modes, but there's also the factor of the wear and tear of the skateboard. Accounting that, you know, obviously it's super minute and almost negligible, but over time you are going to wear down your gear, your shoes, your skateboard, and that's going to have an effect on your ability to do those tricks. Obviously it's not a massive difference, but I'd be keen to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, and if you're so inclined, conduct this experiment for yourself. Next time you're out skateboarding, go ahead and give it a frown or a big cheesy smile. Let me know how it goes for you. I want to thank you for joining me on an episode of Science with Spooty. Subscribe to see more videos like this, skateboarding and shenanigans 3 times a week. And until I see you next time, you gotta keep on spootin', man.